All right, all right. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Brian Carter, and I'm with the Black Men's Group, and this is the Black Men's Group Empowerment Series. This is week number 3, you all, and we are so excited to have you on. We have had some great sessions leading up to now, and today's going to be just as great because we are including all generations of men. And we see the importance of all generations of men being able to talk. And that's why we call it the chop up. And so we have a bevy of panelists, brothers that are on that want to just to share and talk about the importance of intergenerational working together, okay? So I'm going to start with my PowerPoint stuff, and we will continue on in that vein. Let's see here. So, so once again, this is a series sponsored by the Black Men's Group. The Black Men's Group is for you, brother. All right. There's no secret handshake. There's no $1 million fee that you have to pay to get into the Black Men's Group. The Black Men's Group is for the black man and those affiliated and supporting the black man, the upliftment of the black man, the empowerment of the community. Our 4 pillars that we focus in on is men, family, the elders, supporting our elders, giving tribute to our elders, and also the recovering, those coming out of incarceration, and those that are in the recovery process. We want to be there to celebrate them. So next week we are going to wrap up this series, this empowerment series, and we're going to be talking about the Black Power dollar. All right, and if you can see from the slide, Black Power is, definitely involved with money. Okay, and so when you have a good charge and a good understanding of your money, then we know in turn that the black monies in the community will go towards better things. We'll even have a value for putting dollars and energies into the black community. So we're going to talk about that. So looking forward to you all logging in next week. Same login, same time, to talk about that. Good panel of people going to be talking about that. So we also are going to have in July the 23rd, Saturday, from 9 to 11, we're going to have our first father-child community breakfast. And it's going to be over at the Moorhead Community Resource Center over on East 10th Street. And it's going to be awesome because our focus is about empowering the black male, and then also father involvement in youth education. When dads are around, school system is better. The school's better. They appreciate us being there in a positive type of way. So we want to definitely put some energies into that. If you're interested in registering, there's a QR code. If you're interested in being a vendor at the event, if you're interested in donating, anything like that, please look us up. All right, and so I want to start off with a song in your hearing, just to kind of lay the foundation related to our topic today.
Hey, hey. Yo, young son, come here and have a seat while I fill you with some wisdom you can't learn on them streets. Walking around here with your head all matted up, pants all sagging off. Brother, who dressed you up?
Man, why you always preaching to me? Man, life is hard enough. You kill me coming around here with this positive stuff. Ain't no jobs, I need money, so I'ma do what I can to escape from this hell. It ain't easy being a black man.
I kill you with positive, brother, you're killing many. Every day you decide not, then you become the enemy. Money and cars, they got their place, but not inside to divide and genocide a whole race.
But see, you got to understand what I'm going through. At the crib, ain't no grub, now what the heck I'm supposed to do? Just sit back and pray, huh? And wait for God to save me? Bruh, in 4 months or so, my girl is having a baby.
I understand all that, but the truth still remains. And you manifest things that contaminate brains and think you gotta kill me to survive? Well, what's the use of being alive if we're never gonna rise?
Man, I need some grands in my hands, and now ain't the time for you to be telling me to change plans. Need datings on my caddy, got connections to Cincinnati. My mother keep telling me I'ma end up just like my daddy.
And if you can only see your daddy now, he's a living example, paying the price for being wild. And I know he wants a better life for you, but you're a grown man, the choice is yours, so what you gonna do?
Yeah, mines, I see no other way out of this mess. My father was never around
to punch you in your chest. Yeah, that's what you needed, was some discipline, the kind of discipline from a father, not the system. Cause that's the beast that got you wrapped up on this leash, feeding you death.
But see, I'm hungry, all I wanna do is eat. The street provides a way to put cash down in my pocket. Fast, don't have to ask nobody for nothing I get.
And you don't understand the plan. Dead presidents in your pocket has never made a man. How could anybody beg for oppression? You might have dropped out of school, but you'll never stop learning lessons.
Yeah, it sounds so simple, but I don't care about them books. I'd rather smoke, blunt, drink, brew, and hang out with crooks. Opportunity for me is just too hard to see. Can't even get a diploma, forget a college degree.
Hold up, scientist, biologist, builder of the pyramid, original man. Never forget what you did. Though I understand what you are facing, trials have made you able to build a strong nation.
But my family never gave me the things that I needed. Gangs that I joined occupied me and kept me weeded, provided a way to escape from harsh reality. Dream to break me free, but poverty just won't allow me.
Your first mistake, can't ask poverty for Nathan. Pins you in with the evil grin, like there'll be no escaping, so it seems. My people overcame, that strength is in my genes. Here to make a reality of what you call dreams.
Schemes go through my mind daily, don't try to play me, I'm sick. Cause seeing brothers with Luke get all the ladies. Mercedes, Benz, friends, and clocking crazy ends. Depends who got the most glitter and glamour, that's win.
What, a one-way ticket back to where life begins? Ready to take a dirt nap? Cause you wanna be hard for your friends? And if you could talk to your boys after they died, what you thought was honor came out as nothing but a lie.
Tears run down my face when some of my boys got smoked. Smoke, seen bullets, show folks, death ain't no joke. I know this, man, but see, life goes on whenever somebody dies.
Then somebody's born. Now you're catching on. Focus your mind to a life when death comes with guns and knives and try to slice your chances. Try to prevent you from making advances. Apply knowledge yourself, cause ignorance can't stand this.
Yeah, you kinda touched me with that one, should've been a Panther. Farrakhan's little brother, claiming he know the answer to my problems. Who do this fool think he is? Some type of genius or whiz? I bet you never did a bid.
You said that like there was something wrong with it. When it comes to speaking for negative, you seem to be long-winded. Bet you them brothers locked down wanna be free. You laugh, but where's the humor in dying at 23?
Brother, dying ain't scared me, bear me with my riches. I done seen hell, nigga, my trigger finger itches. Turn it on yourself, I keep on hearing this little voice telling me to end it, cause after all, it is my choice, right?
Wrong, cause you're responsible for those little ones coming up admiring cars and clothes. So before you come and say you ain't no role model, that excuse is as dead as backwash in a 40 bottle.
You got me, shot me right in the middle of my head, but instead of killing me, you brought me back from the dead.
Sorry, can't let you give me no credit, I'm just a vessel, reminding you when life gets hard, not to let go.
I really like that song, man. It's like a conversation, and it's just, you know, just that conversation between two. It started out rough, but it worked out, you know. So that's how sometimes it is that our conversations start out a little rough, you know, amongst the generations, but it works out. And then I saw this on Blackish. I just want to share it with you guys.
You know, when I was with Olivia, I just felt like I was killing it. We moved in together, we talked about marriage, kids, I felt like a real grown-up. You were doing all right. Yeah, kind of. When she left, I really realized I had stalled. I'd already moved back in 3 times.
Hey, son. I stalled too, thinking that the most important thing was getting the same opportunities as my white counterparts. But it didn't make me feel any better. And you know, I don't know what the future holds, and that terrifies me, and I've never told that to anybody.
I'm really glad you told me.
Yeah, you told him, you told me, told every damn woodland creature in the Sierra Nevada. If you two don't be quiet, we're going to bed without any dinner tonight.
Pops, we found something way better than food. We found each other.
Oh, now I know who's been watching all those white girl movies on Netflix.
Son. Okay. Pops, let's try something. All right, they say the most vulnerable and intimate thing you can do is look into someone's eyes without looking away.
Son, waiting and exhaling is for the two of you, not for me.
Hey, Pops. That's what I thought. I thought the same thing before it brought us together. All right, and now I've never felt so free. So come on, Pops, let's do it. Come on, man, look at me. Do you see me, Pops?
Oh,
All right, so I don't know what happened there, but
oh, hell no, I do not like this. Nope.
it's rough. It's rough. You know, it is rough. And but we have to understand that, listen, it's the beginning when we are willing to try, when we are willing to look at each other and we're willing to talk about things. A lot of times us, the older generation, we get caught up into some of the wrong verbiage. And so this is a post-it note wisdom that came to mind. There's nothing wrong with saying back in my day, as long as you realize your day includes today. I'll say that again. There's nothing wrong with saying back in the day, in my day, as long as you realize your day includes today. So, we stand tall on the shoulders of our ancestors, and communication is what we have been trained, and it's inbred in us to communicate. So we're going to talk about the generation chart real quick, and I want you to figure out where you fall in based on your birth year. All right. So if you were born between 1940 and 1959, you are a baby boomer. If you were born between 1960 to 1979, you're a Generation Xer. You're a millennial or a Generation Y if it's 1980 to 1994. And you are a Generation Z if it's 1995 through 2010, they say. And we all have our unique qualities. Of course, these are stereotypes, but generalizations or whatever. But, we all have been through something. We all in those different things. Generation Zers, they say they're unlimited. They're fully engulfed or embracing the social networks. They're mobile. They're dialoguers. That's a great thing. Generation Y are millennials. They're all about experience. They're globalists. All right, concerned about the global climate and stuff. I don't know if that means they're tree huggers or what. But that's okay. They're questioning. Okay, of things. They're social media got started, in their generation, and they're into flagships, startups, brand new things. Us Generation Xers, that's my generation. We're competitive. We're individualistic. Okay, sometimes it's about us or whatnot. We're status conscious. Okay, we got style, we got fashion, we care about how we look, I guess. And we're merit based, people. Baby boomers, you're post-war, of course. you're idealistic. You're into collectivists, which kind of being all together, doing things all together. You're revolutionary, all right. Okay, I think that's where the hippies were in there, and that's where all the kind of a lot of the civil rights movement, all that was up in there. Okay, and you are into records and movies and that sort of thing. But the bottom line is, no matter what our generation is, whatever our culture is, we need to recognize and celebrate each other's culture. Okay, so that kind of leads us to where we want to go right now. So thank you all for everybody logging in, and we're gonna jump right into our panelists, the brothers that are committed to just answering some basic questions, introducing themselves and answering some basic questions on how we can relate to each other. So we got brother Shaquan. We want you to jump in, and if you remember the questions, fine. If you don't, I'll remind you of the questions. But please just greet us and let us know. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so I'm doing two things at once, so
That's
bear
all
with
right.
me. I'm not going to remember the questions.
That's all right.
I did have my answers, but to have the questions in my head, it's not happening at the moment.
That's all right, man. So where do you fall in the generation chart, man?
I couldn't hear what you were saying, but I'm pretty sure I'm a millennial. On the end of it,
What year were you born?
93.
All right, yeah. Wait a minute, 93? Let's
Can I,
see.
pardon, I'm on UCBK. They
All
can't
right, so
ask me
yeah,
questions.
93. I think you just cut off as
That's a millennial.
you are just cut
Yeah.
off as you are a millennial, my
You
brother.
barely made it, brother.
Barely made it. You slid in
Hey,
the
I had
wrong
to
place.
look. I'm trying to get in there. You know what I mean?
All right.
I'm a millennial. I ain't
So
gonna be the other
what do
people.
you appreciate about your generation, man? What do you appreciate about your generation?
I would say that I would say we're the age of technology, but we're not the age of technology. But I'll say that we have like, and even though some of it's false, but we have a boss mentality. Um, and I'll say I appreciate that. Some people's mentalities of boss mentality is kind of wrong because they just don't know how to know how. But just overall, it's like we have that boss mentality because it's like we've seen how hard our parents worked for stuff. And we
Yeah.
were like, we don't want that. We don't want to break our back for a company who's willing to just let us go. We want our own.
Wow. I like that, man. That's great enlightenment. And so what do you appreciate the other generations around you? Maybe the Generation Z's, what do you appreciate about them? What do you appreciate about the Generation Xers?
I do the generation before me, I really appreciate that because it's like that was a world of like where everybody wasn't so sensitive. You know what I mean? It was really like, this is what you got. This is your hand that you're dealt. Don't complain about it, deal with it.
Hmm.
If you don't like it, fix it. If you don't like it, do something that makes it better.
Yeah.
Or just get over it and just try to make the best of what it was. So they always had I don't like it, I'm gonna fix it. I don't like it, but hey, there was the silver lining. So it's like the generation before me really had that, like I said, it was they understood what their thing was, and some of them was like, I don't want to stay in this, so they had that gumption to just keep it, just to break that chain. And the others was like, hey man, this is what we got, but I got my family, I got this, I got that, and so it was. I appreciate that strong sense of like just them. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like they were strong within themselves. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of complaining. They made it happen.
That's cool. What do you see about your youngsters, man, the ones up under you?
I mean, I got kids, and I want to say I got a lot of good things to say, but it's,
You got keep it positive. Keep it
I'm
positive.
gonna keep
That's
I'm
the
gonna
whole
keep it
purpose.
positive. The great thing about what they have is they've got to be in a world of free thinking.
Yeah.
So they don't have to fight to be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that means their ideals get to come out more. They're in the age. They are the age. Like my generation is the age of building technology. Their generation is the age of understanding it
Yeah.
and and being more ingenuitive, because we're like, this is what we built, build it better. And they're like, okay, we'll build it better.
That's
Um,
cool.
so that's what I enjoy about the generation after me, because it's like they get to ride on that train and then just take whatever was already done, and they're like, well, here's another perspective.
Yeah,
They're freer in their thinking.
that's cool, man. Now tell me, what gets in the way of the communication between the generations, man?
Stubbornness. Um, you have in my generation, we have the fight with the older generation, because it's like, hey, it doesn't work like that. I'm not just gonna work this 9 to 5 my whole life and break my back. It's that fight. It's
Yeah,
like your way isn't the only way type of deal. It's like I don't want to be like that. I want to be better. You know, so my dad always taught me that. He's like, don't be like me, be better than me.
yes, sir.
Um, but and as far as like the older generation, it's that stubbornness of like, look, this is what it is. But it's like we can't get mad at them for doing what they know, because that's just what they grew up knowing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what that is. Like, oh, I've lived these years and I just know what it is because I've lived this, but not understanding that those times are different. So
Wow.
that's that battle between millennials and before. And as far as like the younger generation, their mindset is more of like I said, it's so ingenuitive. It's like they we're allowing the questioning to happen much more than when I was a kid. It was like, don't question your parents. But now, us as parents, it's like, no, question us. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you need more understanding, but their mindset is, well, why do I have to do it your way? Your
Yeah.
way isn't the only way. Your way isn't right. But not understanding that, like, nah, son, my way is right. And you know what I mean? So they're a little bit. So we're all stubborn in a part. You know what I'm saying? My generation is like, man, I'm grown now. Y'all can't tell me what to do. The younger generation,
Wow.
yo, like, what makes you think that your way is the right way? And then the
Uh-huh.
older generation is like, look, I've been here. I've done this. So like, I got age and wisdom on you. You know what I mean? So it's the whole part of it is mainly stubbornness.
Okay. Now, so what do you want? If you could, bring about change, what do you want from the generations? What do you want?
The same thing I want for my generation: open dialogue and understanding. I can talk to you until I'm blue in the face, and you can talk to me until you're blue in the face. But if we don't come to an understanding and on a comprehensive level, nothing will ever change. But that's also coming to the understanding that, hey, not everybody's going to make it with this. You know what I mean? Not
Yes.
everybody's going to come. This is the game plan. Who wants to hop on the game plan? Okay, you don't want to hop on the game plan, but this is your game plan. I'm willing to support your game plan. And that's half of it, supporting other people's game plan, even if you're not involved in it.
All right.
You
Hey
know what I
man,
mean?
let's give this brother a hand, man. I mean, you just really
Yeah,
brought it, man. And I know
yeah,
you got some other
yeah.
things to do, but my goodness, man, I'm so glad I got you on the record, man, because that was some
It's powerful, brother. Thank you.
good stuff. Brother Jesse, jump on in,
Absolutely.
man. Jump on in.
What, I'm next?
Yeah, man, why not?
I'm Jesse Bingham. I am a Generation Xer at 54 years old, getting ready to be 55.
Hey, come on in. The water's fine, man.
A few things that I appreciate about my generation is, how they're present daddies and family men that love their wives. I appreciate how they're outspoken about their faith and how they go to work to provide for their families and for their kids, and even not even kids of their own. I love the way that my generation respects their elders and also respect authority. I love the way that my generation, how they care about and are active in their communities. I love their passion for activism and how we fight for equality and for equity and how we get out to vote. Um, the things that I do appreciate about some of the other generations, the Gen Zs, the younger generation. One thing I really appreciate about them is their boldness
Yeah.
and being outspoken. I appreciate their zeal and their their fire and commitment to be educated. I'm empowered by their activism and their acceptance of others, regardless of their race, their sexual orientation, their sexual identity, or even their religious belief. As far as the millennials, I really appreciate how this generation has succeeded without fathers in their home.
Wow.
That when I am, man, I appreciate their ambition and how they want to do great things and how they don't need permission to be great. I appreciate how they accept others and how they're fighters for the things that they believe in. I appreciate their activism and even them getting out to vote. For like the baby boomers and that silent generation, I sure enough appreciate their wisdom and just how they were disciplinarians, how they were butt whoopers, how you jacking up down the street, Miss Murphy's gonna tighten that behind up, and then when Daddy get home at night from Chrysler at 11 a.m., he's gonna wake you up out of bed and tune you up too. I appreciate their perseverance and their sacrifices that they made, and they're putting us up on game. I'm talking about the OGs as well as Big Mama. I appreciate their strength and how they weren't no punks back then, and how they would do anything to protect their families at all costs, even if it means killing.
Wow.
My granddaddy is from Cadiz, Kentucky, and I had an old pistol of his, old 45. No, matter of fact, it was old 38 Supra. It had about 9 notches on it. I appreciate, I'm a man of God, but I'm sure enough real. Hey, man, I appreciate how the silent generation and the boomers, how they stood up against their oppressor.
Yeah.
One thing I really appreciate about them, and I want to share this with the brothers, young and old, stop asking your oppressor to treat you equally.
Yeah.
Stop asking your oppressor to treat you with equity. You take it.
Take it.
Stop asking them for their permission to be great. You be great. I appreciate how the boomers and that silent generation, how they fought for us. And what I think blocks the communication between the generations is multiple things, but I just really narrowed it down. I think one of the things that block the generations, like Brother Shaquan said, one thing, we got this great divide, but I think one of the things is fear. The block communication, fear that we won't understand one another, fear that they're not going to understand me. But I think one of the biggest barriers that are up in the communication between every generation is that we got too many people in all these generations that are not village minded or kingdom minded.
Wow.
They don't have, some people in every generation, they don't have enough community love. The word of God says in 1 Corinthians 10:24, it says, let us not seek our own good, but also the good of our neighbor.
Yes, sir.
Romans 12:10 tells us that to love one another with brotherly affection and outdo one another with honor.
Outdo
one another with honor. And this is one of the barriers that breaks the communication lines down, because we're too judgmental with other generations.
Yeah.
Just like our generation judged our music when we was listening to Houdini and Grandmaster Flash and Pac and Biggie. I mean, and the Ghetto Boys. Come on, man, that was atrocious to them.
Yeah.
And now some of us, we listen to some of the music like Little Baby and everybody in them, and we want to judge some of this mumble rap. But this is where this great divide go. Instead of judging them, instead of trying to understand them.
That's
being a man of God, I have a 26-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old son, I got my 21-year-old son. He's an athlete, and athlete and music go hand in
Oh,
hand,
yes, it
and
do.
they're preachers' kids, and so they got a heck of a job to do. But one thing me and my wife has never done from them was shield them from any music or any movies or anything what they wanted to watch, because they were going to hear it at school anyway.
All
but
right.
what we do, we talk about them, how bogus and how some of these lyrics don't even line up with their life.
Look at that.
So what I would like to see from other generations, from all generations, is to support one another.
Yeah.
Just like Brother Shaquan said, support one another. You said it, Brian. We should be our brother's keepers at all costs.
Yeah.
We don't have to carry a banner or wear a t-shirt to support their foolishness, but we should support them at all costs. We should love them at all costs. We should be intentional and purposeful for looking out for our elders and also pouring into the lives of our youth, no matter what, amen, no matter what, because they're our future.
That's exactly right.
Don't nobody, man, care how much you know until they know how much you
care. Come on now. That's old school right there, and that's new school too. That's it, man. I thank you for those words, man. That is so necessary to hear, and we applaud that. We are right behind you on that. I'm just picking how I see things. Brother Jerron Evans, talk to us, man. What's your generation? Are you with us, Brother Jerron? I see that you're off, but I can't hear you. All right, we'll move on for the sake of we'll get you back in when we think you got your technology tight and everything like that. Let's see, brother Mark Council.
Hey, Brother Brian.
Hey, man, talk to us, man. Talk to us, Elder.
Right. I'm Mark Council Senior. I'm with that baby boomer group.
Yes.
And the major thing to me, Brother Brian, is sometimes it's just about communicating. Because what I've heard from the first two brothers, I took the questions and I wrote these down. I'm ready to go through them. You'll hear how much is similar to what you've already heard.
Yeah.
For my generation, I appreciate, for the most part, I looked out for family, raised our children. They're often the ones that hold the family together, brothers, sisters, little siblings, looked out for, tried to care for parents, were loyal in friendship. And that's some of the same thing I heard from other two brothers. And for the silent generation, worked hard and took care of the family, shared that knowledge, fought those early battles that helped us get where we got.
Yes, Lord.
And like millennials and you guys, man, that hard working and driven to be better.
Yeah.
Taking life to the next level, determined to be even more successful than your parents. That's what we all always wanted for our children. And Generation Z's, curious, the world at their fingers, want to know more, want to know more, want to choose their own path in life.
Yes, they do.
I'm trying to get through this so somebody else can get some time.
That's all right.
And what blocks communication? For the silent generation above me, a lot of times just been stubborn, kind of stuck in their own way.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling like because they struggled so much to make it and made it, that you ought to follow down in that path. Even though you might have found something better, you might have found an easier path. They didn't really want to hear that all the time. And millennials, they feel like they already have a better way. Not wanting to hear that advice from others that feel like I might not need your help, but everybody needs help.
Everybody.
And Generation Z feel they already have more knowledge than Generation Z feel like they already have more knowledge than those generations. So they got all this new technology that they understand better than we do.
They can Google.
And so we're behind the times in their mind.
That's good, man. That's
And what
good.
do I want to see? I want to see us come together, man, and communicate and draw from the strengths that we have that you may be lacking in. Like, because they're younger than me, they don't have all the knowledge that I have because they don't have all the experience that I had.
That's
So
right.
they can gain from that. I can gain from them from this technology angle, which I wasn't born into, they were born into. So
Right.
naturally, they're going to be better at it than me. So I can gain from them there, man, just talking, communicating, come together to help our community, bring it all together, in strength. And that's what I say about what we can do is share knowledge, man, and wisdom, and come up with a plan to help the community grow together, man.
I love it and appreciate hearing from you, man. Gray hairs mean something, my brother, and I'm
Yes,
glad you ain't
Absolutely.
hiding yours. I'm glad you ain't hiding yours.
Yeah.
It's a,
No,
it's a
not at
great
all. Go ahead. Hey, glad to have it.
it got some stories behind them, you know what I'm saying?
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
We got our youngest brother on, and we are not going to despise his age because he has been for the last two years or so been real deep into BMG, supporting. He rocks the t-shirts. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
He's talking the talk. He's there in school, with it. And when we had our mentor event back in early April, we awarded him because he's a BMG soldier out there. And
All right,
so
all right.
this is Brother Sean Moore. Brother Sean Moore, just address us, man. We're so happy to have you. Tell us how old you are and everything.
Hello, well, my name is Sean, 13, almost 14. I'll be 14 in June.
All
So,
right.
end of the year for my school, I'll be a freshman next year. So that's exciting, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
I think my last day will be Tuesday.
Ah,
Yeah.
look at that, man. Moving on to bigger and better things. So what?
Yeah.
So that makes you you in that Generation Z then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Wear it proud, man. Wear it proud. Get the t-shirt, man. So what are you appreciative of your generation? What do you like about your generation?
Um, I could say I like how they're aware about the world that's going on around them. Like the stuff that goes around, like the stuff that we see on maybe social media, the stuff that we see in real life, we're aware of it and can, well, we can, I should say, we can evolve into it and learn from different things that goes on in the world we live in.
That's great. And so what do you appreciate the generations around you? You got what, three generations above you? Do you see things that in those generations that you appreciate?
So the main thing I appreciate about other generations, well, obviously since it's another generation, they're gonna be older than me, right? So if they older than me, they live longer, and that means they have more knowledge that they can share to everybody and pass on for
That's
many generations, actually.
that's good. Now what do you think blocks? What's the haters to all these generations getting along, man? What gets in the way?
Now the different things, the blocks is really basically the time periods. Like not everybody can understand. Like every time there's a might be a new generation. There's some new slang or something. There's a new word. Before it's like I don't know. And before, it wasn't that long that we saying, "Oh yeah, that's cap, you capping," or so. I don't know. It's like if we were to say something, another generation might not understand exactly what we're saying, or possibly we do a lot of technology like now on my computer doing this. Maybe someone might not know how to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Like a grandma or something doesn't know how to work the phone, can't can't do stuff. So that can be a block of like what are you talking about? What does that word mean or
Hmm.
something? And especially when texting, now we shorten words like yours like you are now, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, what is that? the shorten the WYDM, what are you doing, or different stuff. I can't get it right. LOL, they're like, what's that, so that could be a blockade.
You're right. You're right. Now, what do you want to see? I mean, you're a dreamer. What do you want to see? Like, amongst the generations, what do you want to see?
Well, first of all, back to the second question, I want to see them passing on knowledge. That could be past generations. I want to see this generation taking in everything that the other generations have given us, and I want to set. I want this generation currently to set a good example, showing that we can be very smart, intelligent. We can change the world in many different shapes and forms, and we can, as children now, or as we get older, we can do great things and still set a good path for our own children to come, for a new generation to come.
And you may never heard this slang, but man, that's out of sight. That's on point. I don't know what y'all say in Generation Z, man, but I gave you two. That's groovy, man. I gave you three generations right there, man.
Well, we will say it's facts, facts, facts.
It's facts, facts, facts. So I love that. I love that. Your energy is just so needed, and thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, brother.
That is fantastic. Let's see. Let's jump to Elder CL Day, man. Talk to us, man. Talk to us. Are you with us, Elder CL Day? Come off of mute and holler at us. All right. He might be having some technology things going on. We'll come back to you, Elder, if you're having some technology stuff. Sherrod Cole, enlighten us, brother. Talk to us.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, all right. I'm sorry, brother Carter. I just got home from work.
Oh, that's all right, man.
Yeah.
You want me to run the questions by you, or you got them in your head?
Well, I actually, what I did was I wrote these questions down.
Okay.
And gave an answer. Excuse me, I'm out of breath. I've been running.
You've been running. That's all right.
All right. So my name is Sherrod Cole. My age is 50, so I'm a Gen X.
All right.
I'm definitely a Gen X. To name a few things you appreciate about your generation, and I appreciate that my generation can relate to both second generation baby boomers and millennials. The Gen X was able to see the beginnings of technology as we know it today. So Gen X were born into various unique types of conflict also. So one of the, we were born into Roe v. Wade. That's exceptional. That's really important, I think, that we were born into that controversy. And then the Vietnam War, that was another controversy that we were born to. So I think it speaks to our generation and the culture of our society and how we think and where we stand, position wise with a lot of the issues that we have today. So to name a few things you appreciate about other generations. So I said, I appreciate that the baby boomer generation has the knowledge and willingness to teach skills and life lessons to younger generations that desire to learn that. They are a wealth of wisdom and have the capacity to hone the more radical, ambitious mindsets of younger generations. And then I said, I love the fact that the millennials do not accept the status quo or a business as usual attitude. They want change, but may not know what the change looks like.
Yeah.
However, they certainly know what it does not look like.
Wow.
And then the Generation Z population are tech savvy. They have a free spirit mindset and are like sponges. They are more perceptive and keen to their surroundings than we think, but they are free thinkers also. So with the right guidance and influence, they can positively change their culture, community, and social inequality. So what blocks communication between the generations? I believe that this trust among each of the generations cause apprehension within the lines of communication. So I also think this false sense of identity and the self-centered pride that is structured upon plays a major role in how we engage one another. Because our identity is so skewed. And I think that goes from just not only just identifying as Black men and how what our culture is and how we are, but I think also just as men, period. Where do we fit in this society?
Yeah.
Because we got it coming from all ends. But I think self-centered pride is structured around it a lot. Like we really have a major problem with pride. I see it a lot in where I work at, because I work with kids that are locked up doing at the maximum security facility.
Yeah.
So I get to really hear how they think and what they say. One of the things that really stood out for me as far as that generation, particularly Generation Z, which I run into a lot. When I was a counselor, when I first got a job as a counselor there, one of the things that they were asking me from the worst unit that was there, they were asking me, "Hey, Cole, man, where you going? Are you coming to where we at or what not?" So I told them, and I was authentic about it. I said, "Look, man, wherever they put me, I will go." So yeah, I'm hoping that they put me with y'all.
Yeah.
But if they don't, so be it. And one of the things that one of the kids told me, it really stuck out. He said, "Cole, I really hope you come with us." He said, "Man, because everybody runs from us." And that it really hurt me to hear that. And I really feel like that wasn't just the sentiment of the facility or how those guys felt. That's how they feel in the streets too.
In the streets.
That everybody runs from them.
Yeah.
So, so on the last question, what blocks communication between the generations? I'm sorry. Is what do you want to see from other generations?
Yeah.
So I said, I want to see more open-mindedness to the wants, needs, and expectations among all of us. So I personally feel that more value and honor should be given to our eldest generation because the wisdom and experience they possess. And then baby boomers they have more of an eagle's eye view on life.
Mm-hmm.
They have seen more, they've experienced more, and now see life from a broad mountaintop view. So when you have that kind of view of having experienced so much, and then they see the whole picture as a whole. They don't see it like maybe Generation Z has, because Generation Z and millennials haven't had that much of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we can have that line of communication and that respect is given to those of them that have done it before us, I think we'll see that we have more commonalities than we have differences. Because I think we focus on those differences more so than those commonalities that we have. Personally, I agree with Malcolm X when he said that toward the end of Malcolm X's life, he when he joined with other religions and Martin Luther King, one of the things that he pointed out was that the world doesn't see us as, and I'm paraphrasing, the world doesn't see us as Episcopalian, Muslim. They don't see us as whatever religion that we may be. They see us as a Black man.
Yeah.
That's how they see us.
Period.
Yes. And we need to come together just off of that one commonality right there, that we are all Black. So we share the same disparages. We share the same sort of treatment. we share the same opportunities or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So if we can come together, and I think that speaks to not just being Black, but that speaks to generations. So if we find that commonality, yeah, I may be 50, you may be 20, and you may be 19, but we share some commonalities.
Yes, we do.
So I think our discussion should start, it can start from that standpoint to where we can have all ears open.
That's great, man.
And the last one was, what two things are you committed to doing with other generation groups to empower the Black community?
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I'm committed to either helping to create a platform or sharing on platforms designed to have constructive dialogue with generations. The next thing I desire is for us to turn the positive talking points into active solutions that become the Black community's new normal.
Wow, man, that's really it right there. Thank you, brother Cole. That's for sharing your enlightenment, and we just really appreciate that. That's some good stuff from your vantage point. We appreciate that. CL Day, are you back? Are you back with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I figure out how to get my unmuted going.
You unmuted, and we ready to hear from you.
Yeah, I just lay out there. I just turned 69 years old. And I think some of the problem is the younger generation, they might say it, but a lot of time they're not demonstrating that they're standing on the shoulders of the generation that have gone before them.
Yeah. So what do you appreciate about them though? Give me that, because we all in the social services field, we always start with that positive and then we start working out and getting into the deep, So what do you appreciate about your generation? What do you appreciate about their generations?
I understand what you're saying, but sometimes I'll start off with the negative because of some people only remember the last thing you're saying.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm learning that. Okay, that's the difference between our generations right there, maybe. Is that now here I am learning the reason why you say what you say to get to the point of what you're saying. So God, continue, my brother.
One thing I can really appreciate you, I believe we graduated together back in 91, I think we did.
Yeah,
and
you were getting your master's and I was just the young pup getting my bachelor's.
And you went on to do some very significant things. You still are. I remember after graduation, you come to me talking about some positive things you were doing in the community. And I was willing to support you. So the young generation is doing a lot of good things. Every generation does. You could not do that. They're expanding more, create business and social services.
Yeah.
They're going further in education. They're, the Black Lives Matter thing was I think was very positive, and I supported that to the extent I did. And some of them would go after contracts, and if they couldn't get it, or with Don or whoever, they would somehow get them to commit that if they would come work with my organization for a period of time and I support them, that they would get contracts. So several of them, even some of them are running business now, would do that and get contract. And it ain't something I would necessarily doing alone. Greg Ellis was working behind the scene.
Yes.
We did a whole lot of things successful here in Indianapolis. So, and I've seen the young generation doing supervised visitation, just a whole lot of stuff. Expanding the areas in which we get training, either training and or college degrees. College degrees don't guarantee you a job.
That's right.
It don't even guarantee you a foundation of common sense. And a lot of times what younger generation don't realize, we came up with rap. We grew up with that.
Yeah.
And all the first rappers and stuff, we was in college. And, there was a big hit. I was living in LA during that time, going to Cal State Dominguez and a psychology program. Now, I think one thing that all generation has to understand and respect more and be willing to operationalize it and to take serious risks. I happened to be awake late last night and saw this talk show with Charles Barker that was facilitating it, and it had like Spike Lee, had this young woman basketball player who now part owner of a woman basketball team, and the white rapper the white journalists, they all come up throwing Michael Jordan time, Kobe Bryant and all that. And they was talking about, so one thing that people don't understand about Kobe was that sometimes Michael Jordan would say, I don't know why I talked to him for 2 hours late last night. And they talked about how Kobe's talked about, he watched a whole lot of tape and learned how Larry Bird did his jump shot. How Michael Jordan was hanging in the air so long. So he was focused and learning on the strength of his predecessors.
Yes.
Brought that into his game. And most all the great athletes did that. Magic talked about how he learned from Kareem. But it seemed like that is not as prevalent in the current generation as it was. And a lot of times, young people don't understand that risk we took. Although I had the first African-American licensed foster care adoption and mentoring organization in Indianapolis, how people would ask me, say, how's it going, man? I said, hanging by a thread. And understand that, because say if there was a meeting that somebody really, in Greg and Ellis, sometimes we would be like the only Black people in this meeting with, it used to be your boss, Sharon Pierce, president of Childrenville. And, and a lot of time I was by myself. You put the hands on the table, all the Black hands I saw with mine. But I had to take a risk of losing organization to speak up for African-American families. And I was scared as hell, but it had to be done.
Yeah.
Fear is okay, as long as you use it the right way.
That's right.
And be prepared when the opportunity comes to manage that fear in a way that is going to help your community. Man. And to understand, no matter how good white folks are to you, they only going to go so far. You read Freddie Douglass, autobiography of Freddie Douglass, he talked about a white person did all kind of stuff, but at one point, they said, we're not going that far. When I was putting my organization together, one person that was helping me was Sharon Pierce. She had a secretary, so whenever I called, will forward that call to me, wherever she was. And after I got the organization going for a while, I talked to her about partnership with something. She told me, she said, yeah, you're my competition now. I can't help you anymore.
Wow.
But if she did a lot of good stuff in there. I think that, I can see a lot of these young folks, but they've got computers, really they palm them turned into computers.
That's right.
And they spend a huge time working on that computer. but ask them to do some research to help build a program or lead something. They don't even know how to do the research, but they can text in all kind of ways. They can tic-tac, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Those skills are good, but how you manage them is a different thing.
That's right. That's right.
How much of your private life are you willing to put on Facebook or something? Because when you go to apply for a job, they're gonna pull that stuff up.
Yeah, I teach about that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one thing that I would appreciate if the current and former generation do was to value the wisdom that we can bring to the table.
Yeah.
When someone else can provide you some good common sense and some wisdom, that's a barrier you learn how to get over.
Yeah.
But if you sitting there saying, "Oh, that's the way it was when y'all did it," yeah. But look at how Kobe them did it. That's the way Bird them played, and Michael Jordan them played basketball before his time. But he took the quality of them players and brought it currently and made himself much better.
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The better you know your past, the better you are.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
to
sir.
value. Every semester I was in college, I took an African-American class so I could understand my people and I could understand the suffering they went through and appreciate and know. And I made all my kids do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a lot of great opportunities out there, but there's also some of the barriers they had for us, they don't revise them because once we was able to get over them, they said, okay, they don't got over them, but we're going to fix it out here. So they ain't going to get over, going to revise it so it make it harder for you to get over.
Yeah.
Just like they changed golf when Woods started winning all them championships. They started changing the golf course.
Wow.
So, but I encourage the young folks. I think they're doing a good job. I always think they can do better. My weakness and where I am now is like, I done fought the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not willing to try to convince this young generation of doing something because once they tell me, well, that's the way it was when y'all did it, I stop the comment. Ain't nothing I can say to them anymore then because I'm not going to try to. They already fixated on what they're going to do. So I'll go move on to someone that wants to know.
Well, and I believe that, and that as we close this piece right here, there's a remnant. I believe there's a remnant that is being trained, or that we must train to have a sensitive ear. That they're gonna have a pierced ear to the other generations above them. So thank you, Elder, for that. And thank you for continue to be on in there and not giving up on us. We really appreciate that and taking the time. We're gonna sit in the rocking chair with you, Doc. We're gonna sit in the rocking chair and hear the story.
I definitely not give up on my people, and I'll be there willing to help.
Yes, sir.
I'm just not willing to fight and try to convince them to do something right.
Convince them. And I wrote that down. That's duly noted. All right. So Brother Maurice, talk to us, man.
Hey, how you guys doing? You guys can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank all of you guys for speaking and being here. You guys really motivated me and pumped me up, man. When I see all these guys, Brother Cole, Brother Jesse, these guys rushing back, Shaquan rushing back from work, my young brother Sean in the building. You guys just really motivate me, man, just in being here. And so my generation knows who they are. They know who they are. They realize how much time has been wasted, and they realize the need for change. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we here and we talking and all these positive brothers, right? 3 things I appreciate about other generations. The older generation is trying to explain history, experience, and environment from their eyes. like Brother CL just coming in and sharing with us, the younger generation has a sense of freedom to be themselves. You know, they're not afraid, you know, coming up back in the baby boomers time and all that stuff, even with smoking and homosexuality, things of that nature, you know, it was very touchy back then. You would be involved in some type of gang or something, you know. These guys have a sense of pride in who they are, even though they're trying to find their way with themselves. We as a generation understand how they've tried to systematically destroy us and try to defy that based on our individual success. And that's what you were talking about, me being Generation X, you talking about the status of the man. And we were from the older brothers like Brother CL sharing with us and help us say, yo, we want some type of status in life, some people to know who we are. And our younger guys just took that on and ran with it, right? What blocks communication between generations is we don't understand our history, culture, and strength. We have to go back and really go over history. And that's where these older brothers, they can tell us experience what was going on in their environments during the time. And then we have to transfer that vision into our children and take the positive aspects from that, because they provided the framework for the liberties that we have today, you know, and as well as being examples of how to live and respect one another, you know, and respecting, you know, everyone's space, and to hear people out, and bring unity back to the Black home. I can't hear you if I think I know every single thing, you know, and we learn every day. And so stop thinking we know everything and stand for correction sometimes. Wow. It's okay to say I messed up, you know, as long as I'm willing to understand how to fix it. It takes a village to raise a child. And back when I was coming up, you know, you can stand for correction from any adult in the neighborhood. And then when you go home, you get that same, you catch it over again. So it was a double whammy. Yes. So we have to get back to that back, us being examples and not validate wrongdoing, but instead of just reacting, you're not gonna tell my child this, or you're not gonna tell, let's rethink before we react. Yeah. Let's rethink before we respond to things and try to understand the message. And what I want to see from other generations, the older generations, to be forthcoming with us about their personal struggles. Like I said, it's okay to say, okay, this is where I went wrong with this, or, you know, how can I fix this, or how can I become better at that? You know, a lot of times, you know, people, especially even with young people, like the brother was talking about earlier, how everybody runs from them and they just want to be heard. Yep. They just want to be heard. And with us, sometimes the older cats, it takes us longer to get around to the point of our story. And you know, but at the same time, it's for us to listen, because I'm sure it's something positive that we can get from those kind of conversations, being able to dialogue with one another. What else? Yeah, communicate. Like I said, communicate with your children. Don't just say, do as I say, not as I do. You know, I heard that coming up. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, but explain to them why, the variables, the different things in reasoning of why you shouldn't make certain decisions. You know what I mean? Or, you know, why you should, or why do I feel, how do I feel about, you know, the decision that you're making, and be honest and be respectful. Don't let them know that just how important they are to you, but also discuss with them, you know, how important they are to the economy, yes, to socially, spiritually, and from a humanitarian perspective. Look, so they can have a sense of pride of who they are, know where they belong. feel as though they're not alone. For the younger generation, I love you guys' drive. I love you guys' ambition. I love, like Brother Shaquan was saying about having that boss type of attitude. But we have to instill in them, okay, yeah, you can be that boss, but this is the work that it takes to get there. These are the necessary steps that we have to take in getting there. And don't just seek instant gratification. If we look at a lot of these rappers, Young Thug and a lot of these rappers out here, man, I done seen more RICO charges than a little bit in such a little bit of time. And the reason why is because what we see is, yeah, you see the money, you see the glitter, you see the glam, but you don't see the consequences of bad decision-making and mismanagement of money or drug use and abuse. You don't see those things, and you don't see how they have interpersonal struggles that sometimes cause them dire consequences.
Oh yeah.
All you see is what they show in a 5-second snippet on the internet. Your decisions, young people, don't just affect you, but it affects everyone around you. And it's when you're going through something, it's hard to see because you're going through it.
Yeah.
But if you take time to think and get to a place, and that's what the older people are for, to help guide you, you can see from a higher elevation of everything that's going on. You can see the landscape clearer before you make that decision, to understand how to navigate through certain things. Understand that even the best fighters in the world have trainers. They have trainers. And the reason why is because the trainer in the corner can see other things that they can't see in the fight.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have to get to that higher elevation. And so that's what the older people are for, to help you, not to tell you or control you, but to help you navigate that landscape that you might be going through.
That's good, man. That's good.
Make positive connections. You know what I'm saying? With people, make positive connections with the people around you. Like me being in this group is very positive. What 2 things that we can do that we can commit to? Find where you are right now in your life and know that change is possible. So if you're doing well, continue to do well. But even if you're not, right now, you have the ability to change the outcomes and make the better decisions right now. And get active. Get active from where you are. Get active and get involved to do your part to help and change the conditions of yourself and the people around you, where you are right now. In closing, certain things can understand that, like I said, you don't just affect you, you affect the people around you. I was reading, and it's a story about Delhi, India, and they was under British colonial rule in the early 1900s, right? And they had the cobras was just running, they were out of control, right? And so what happened was the British decided, said, hey, all you residents that are here, what we're going to do is, if you bring us 1 dead cobra, we're going to give you compensation. We'll pay you for it, right? So what happened? People thought it was a way to make money, right? And so they started breeding cobras, right? And letting them out and taking them back to the British to get compensated. So once the British found this out, they said, hey, we got to stop this, right? So they stopped paying people for it. So what happened, people in turn started letting all those cobras out that they started breeding, right? And it added to the cobra population 3 times over.
Wow.
Right? So what I'm getting at is, okay, understand that there is no A to B when you're making decisions, okay? It's a bunch of variables that go in sync with that. And so if you make a decision, then you have to account for the other things. The British thought that this would be a good idea to compensate for those people, and they had good intentions in doing so. But what happened was the other variables they didn't think about, and then the problem got bigger.
Wow.
And so that one impulsive decision caused a lot of other things to happen, and then overpopulated with the same problem they had from the beginning. And so think about that when you make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mo. We appreciate that, man. I'm telling you, if wisdom was money, I'm telling you, we're in the millionaire circle, y'all. We are in the millionaire circle. All right, we're gonna talk to one of my millionaires, one of the brothers that I love to hear from, John Muhammad. Talk to us, brother. Are you there, my brother? Brother Muhammad, you were off of mute, and then just come on back off. Yeah, now we can hear you. There we go.
Oh man, let me just start off by saying to the older generations, the baby boomers and the silent generation, I first want to say thank you for your courage and your example and your sacrifice. There was so much that those generations sacrificed and endured for us today. For my generation, man, I want to say, man, thank y'all for the perseverance, man. The perseverance. We persevered through a very difficult period, and I'll get into what I'm talking about here in just a second. And to the millennial and the Z's, man, look here, man, I see y'all shine. I see y'all shine, man. Y'all are amazing, brothers. Y'all amazing. So I'm 54, gentlemen. That means they put me in the Gen X category. I'm just gonna say one of the things that I really, there's so many things that y'all brothers already from my generation pointed out that you appreciate, and some of the other generations recognize. One of the things that I appreciate about my generation is that we uncovered a path of hope, man, from the ashes of oppression through poetic expression called rap and hip hop. And here's what the oppression I'm talking about is the dismantling and destruction of the Black organized movement that was demanding equality for our people. We were coming out of the ashes of what had happened to the MLK, Martin Luther King organization, to the Black Panther organization, to those movements, to the Nation of Islam, those movements who were really attacking the oppressor and pushing the oppressor. That was strategically dismantled. And so we had to rise up from the ashes, man. And that's what it looked like to me when I was seeing this expression coming through New York, saying, no, we're not gonna go blind and dead to the attack, to the chemical attack that we came up under from crack cocaine and all that. We rose from those ashes, man. The educational experience that we were having at that time, at least for me, was teaching us that equality had arrived since civil rights, since we were able to sit at the same restaurant as white people. So in our mind, what the effect that had on my generation's mind was that, oh, we no longer have to pay attention and stay woke and stay in the battle because we had already arrived. And it took some time for our consciousness to become aware that, wait a minute, that's a deception. We're still in this fight, right? The generation before us, man, they showed us, again, like I said, that courage and the sacrifice that it takes. And they gave us a clear vision of what complete freedom and justice and equality really looks like. We were able to see what our hearts truly desire, which is a nation of representation, a self-governance, a governance of operation, and economic freedom, and a just system. We was able to see that from the generations before us and what they showed us. The generation after us, man, the millennials, they demonstrate an understanding of ownership. They don't want to work on no job. That's why they don't really find it attractive a lot of times when we talk to them about certain ways to present themselves, to look, to talk, to act, so that they can get a job for somebody. They're not looking for a job. They looking to create the job. They're looking to be the boss. That's that generation. And so, man, that's that shine. I love that about them. Because that's the correct movement that will ultimately bring us to the equality we're looking for, right? And then that Generation Z, man, I'm telling you, they like it was pointed out already, they really have this freedom of honest expression. And what I mean by this, like, you take me how you see me. This is me. You can take it or leave it. I'm not concerned whether you like it or not. They openly and honestly let you see them. They're transparent. And that's what's really needed. For us to really see into each other. You know, the beauty of it. Look, my grandson, I had said a cuss word in front of my grandson, and he was 3 years old, and he corrected me. He said, "Papa, don't say that again." And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I apologize and forgive me for a misrepresentation and an incorrect model before you." Now, if I had said that to my grandmother, even though she had cursed and corrected her, I would have got busted in the mouth.
That's right.
So there is a need that I see if we really want to dig into some of the challenges that we have in these intergenerational dynamics, which is not really, we're not that far apart. This forum is so beautiful. It really allows us to see we're really not that far away from how we perceive and understand each other. Our perceptions are on point.
Yeah.
We just haven't had an opportunity to really have these open, honest conversations that are not judgmental, that they're not critical, they're not rooted in that stubborn kind of dynamic that was already pointed out. And I think one of the biggest things that's the block for us in having these intergenerational conversations is our lack of skill of listening. We have to work on developing the art of listening. Open in a way that we really truly try to hear and see into the being of what and who is expressing what they're sharing so that we can try to understand where they're coming from. And so, you know, that honest conversation where we share success and failure and those experiences. What brother was saying, somebody said, you know, it's a difference from when we're trying to talk to one another and talk to the younger generations. We oftentimes, I think, talk at them instead of share with them. We should share. If we share with them the journey and openly and honestly show some of the transparent ugliness in that we had in the lessons that taught us, so that they don't have to have the same experience, then they would, I think, grasp it and receive it better and maybe not make the same mistake. So I'm looking for ways, man, just to express appreciation and to honor the generations before me, and looking for ways to praise and uplift the generations after me. You know, and brother said something that stood out to me about change. And what I realized was that change is constant.
Yeah.
The change is going to happen whether you really understanding it is happening or not. So what we have to pay attention to is, what are we doing with our mind and our time that is moving us toward who we're becoming? Because we are becoming something all the time. We're changing and becoming something at all times. So we have to be aware and pay attention of what those things are that we are doing and thinking. And so I just appreciate everybody, man.
Thank you,
for being
man.
on here, brother.
We
This is amazing.
appreciate this. We really do appreciate this, and you taking your time and everything. And we got one more. We got brother Jerron, man. He's got a technology tight, so we want to hear from brother Jerron, and then we're going to talk about some action steps, and then shut the thing down for now. So go ahead, Jerron. I hear you a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is I'm a Gen Zer. I'm 19 years old. Before I start off, I would just like to acknowledge everyone that spoke tonight. I really do appreciate it. I gained a lot from it, seeing other people's perspectives and how they view the world, how they view my generation, and how they view other generations. It's really great, and I feel like we should have more talks like this. One thing I like to say about can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. It's kind of one thing I like about my generation is our confidence in ourselves and how we move. You know, yeah, we try to stay focused, but at times we're very outspoken. One of the brothers said that I couldn't remember his name. He said, "Yeah, we're outspoken. Like we're not afraid of any conflict. We really don't take disrespect lightly, and that's been passed down through our ancestors and the trauma that they've been through. We won't take that. It's just not fair, and we're not going to do it. We're open-minded, especially. Some of the things that I appreciate about other generations, for instance, the silent generation. You know, I think that was from like 1926 to 1945.
Yeah.
To be discriminated against from the moment you're born and to your past days, even going to fight for the country in World War I and II, to go and fight for your country and try to bring home honor and not even get a praise for it. I can only imagine how diminishing that is to like your soul. And they stuck through it, and they made a pavement for generations like myself and Gen X and millennials. It's just, I want to shine some light on that, because that's huge. And then for the boomer generation, you know,
people say girls do this and then guys do that, like fixing the car or doing the dishes. Everybody in the boomer generation can do everything, whether it's fixing the car, doing the dishes, house maintenance. There is no gender separation from anything. Like you just knew how to do it. And nowadays, it's hard to find people like that. And it's really nice. And I also want to appreciate millennials. Like they made a payment for my generation, Gen Z, to go out and explore themselves, find who they really are. You know, I don't know if I'm right or not, but from my perspective, silent generation and Gen X, they were raised up to how to survive in the United States, you know. But millennials changed that. Instead of surviving, they actually wanted to live and be free. They didn't want any of that nonsense that the previous generations had to go through. So they really set the walkway for my generation to be expressive and really find ourselves. I want to appreciate that. And let me see if I can. What was the?
I know the other question was what blocks the communication.
Yeah, communication. I want to say one thing I feel like that blocks communication within our generations is compassion. Like growing up, my dad would always tell me to stay tough. You got to be strong. You can't let people see you weak. As I've gotten older and realized it's okay to feel compassion. It's okay to cry. You got to let out those emotions, because you can't just keep dwelling in darkness. That anger and resentment, it just builds up and it's going to get released one way or another. And that's just so unhealthy to your mental health. If we could just learn a way to communicate with each other, it would just make our community a bigger and better place. And we would just get a better understanding of each other. Like Mr. CEO Day said, if you my generation doesn't like to listen, he won't give him the time of the day. And I completely understand that. You know, I see friends of mine and people I know, and just regular people walk down the street, how we perceive ourselves. Yeah, we're open and we get to do what we want and we're honest to ourselves. But you know, when your pants by your knees, man, and you banging music and you want to be a gangbanger because of that's what was trending in social media, that stuff's cool, but it really doesn't get you nowhere. There's a time and a place for everything. And it's not right. And that's one thing I don't really like about my generation, but I love it. At the same time, our openness and our freeness, it's a blessing and a curse, because man. And then another thing for the younger generation that blocks our communication is they're not really as open as I would like them to be. Like they don't think, some of the older generations, at least in my eyes, we don't really seem approachable to some of them. Like, yeah, they could tell us that they're going through something or that they're going through a change in their life, whether they're gay or non-gay or trans, and they would get judged for it by their own siblings or within their own community. And that's not cool. So they try to hide that stuff and keep it away from them, but then it makes this barrier as if, do I really even know that person? Do I really know them? Like, well, what happened? Why do they act this way? And it just comes down to perseverance. You might think someone else's problems are small, but in their eyes, that's their whole world. You know, being in high school, all I thought about was high school. You know, like, what am I going to wear the next day? Am I going to get these girls' numbers tomorrow? As I've like grown and graduated from high school is so small compared to the real world, or school in general. But, you know, from my perspective, that was like my last day. Like I needed to do this in high school. But as I've graduated and moved on in life, it's small. Like it doesn't really matter at all. Like kids are so materialistic growing up because of social media. And I used to be very materialistic. I'm not really materialistic anymore. I find clothes that I like and I just buy them. It doesn't have to be designer or none of that. But that's just how we've been, they're perceived to like. And it really just blocks communication barriers for me. That compassion and that feeling without being judged. And I think I answered question 4.
Yeah,
without it.
That's good. That's good. So what are you committed to doing, man? What are you committed as a Zier?
As a Zier, I would like to be an advocate for within my community to just on mental health, because a lot of people don't talk about it enough. how just having a bad mental health can be detrimental to your future self, and you could sell yourself short without even knowing it. That's why I'm involved in the other group I'm in, Faith and Indy, because once I got the opportunity, I took it and I ran with it, just to speak out on all the things that I've seen and I've seen people been through. It's someone has to talk about it, and I want to be an advocate for it.
Man, that's out of sight, and I saw that in you, Brother Jerron, and was like, "Hey, man, can you be part of the movement?" You know what I mean? Because you got the stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, BMG is so great.
I know a millionaire when I see him, man. I know a great investment when I see it. You come from good stock, I can tell. And so, as I know, man, we're just tickling, scratching the surface. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I respect you guys' time, so I want to get to the action step, okay? Because we're gonna have more of these. But I want to get to the action step, because if we just talk and we don't have an action plan that goes with it, so y'all bear with me, and I'm gonna pull it up, and let's talk about it, okay? And form groups. All right, this is the challenge that we're looking here. Is the Generation Project, okay? And so these are some ideas that we want you to come together as intergenerational or cultural groups, okay? So if you're a millennial, we want you to grab a Zier and a Xer, and get a hold to a baby boomer and say, "Hey, let's work on this." One idea is simple as this: have 3 meals together. In these meals, exchange your culture. So maybe you're eating something, some Thai food one time, and then the next time you're eating soul food, and then the next time, you might be eating, some McDonald's, wherever they, rock it, okay? Talk about your music. Show your art, the art that you respect, the art that they respect, the media, and the influences, the people that influence. Have that dialogue amongst 3 meals, and record what you did and bring it back to the group. The next one, Black Community Project. Our Black community needs every bit of attention that it possibly can have, okay? So plan something all together, not one person say, "I know what we should do." Come together as 4 people from different generations and plan a project. Okay, if you like planting trees, fine, long as y'all all agree on that, or clean up or whatever, long as you all agree on that. And so planning and implementation, everybody involved with it all the way through. The next one, and Sean hit on this, generational slang chart. All right, words and phrases. I say the word cat because some older guys was saying cat, and I thought it was cool, so I incorporated that into my slang, even though that wasn't exactly the slang language of my Generation X, okay? But it's so cool, and I'm so open to learning the new slang that's out here, as long as it's appropriate, to my lifestyle. I'm with that. I love hearing it. So go all the way back to American slavery. Hey, if you want to go all the way back to Africa, do it. But take it all the way to modern time now, the slang and its interpretation, and what it meant and what was the purpose for it. Believe it or not, the songs that they sang, during the slavery to escape and different things like that, and meet up with the Harriet Tubmans and everything, that was slang. Okay, so get into that. Do that and report that back. And knowledge exchange. We heard mention that maybe the boomers and the Xers know some business terms and the business savviness. We're gonna share that. The electronics might be the millennials, it's like these are the electronics that are necessary. The social media might be the Zers. And then everybody can talk about interpersonal relationships amongst their culture, their generation. Have that exchange, all right? And note it. All right, another one, multi-generation time capsule. You ever heard of a time capsule? That's where you put things that are significant to your culture all in something, and then you bury it somewhere to be discovered 20, 30 years from now, 50, 60 years from now. They open it up and it's like, oh, hey. So instead of just being one culture from one period of time, what about multiple Black cultures, Black expressions, that sort of thing? Pictures, media, messages, all that great stuff. Oh man, I want to get involved in that. I love that. That's really good. All right, here's another one. Listing or a media message of helpful hints. We talked about some do's and don'ts. Let's note it. 10 do's and 10 don'ts on working together between the age cultures. Because people need to understand this so they don't make the mistakes and then the communication is cut off. So let's put that together. Another one, and you can come up with your own. These are just some ideas, just some thoughts. A large multi-generational link chart. Okay, so noting Black male contributions, of successes and everything from the original man. That's the Adam man to you. Then you know what I'm talking about. All the way to a Black newborn. What is their purpose? What is their contribution as far as their generation? A lot of times we like to hit that Black history and be like, highlight all our contributions. Our contributions can't be contained in a month. No way. All right. So the question is, do you accept this mission? Because that answers it. What are the things that you are willing to do to build and bond with the other generations? So you all got my number, you all got my information. If you want like a typed up version of this, I will give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you whether you ask for it or not, because I got your information. And for the people who weren't in this group, or maybe it's a family group thing, you grab dad, granddad, and you grab your nephew, and you just work it together. And once again, the whole key is working it together. And so September 17th is when we have our next mentor event. And I would like for the homework assignment, so to speak, the life work assignment, to be completed before then and presented. Okay. I know some people be like, oh, hey, is there any money in it? Any reward? I don't know. The reward in it is really the building of our community. You know what I mean? It's the commitment to working together. You know what I mean? But you never know. It might be some kind of financial incentive or something like that in it. But we want this. So the whole thing is we're going to use the technology to record this, video wise, or however it needs to be. We got the hashtag, you saw it, BMG IG project, and let's do it. So just as we close, brothers, who can I get a buy-in to this? Anybody want to put their hand up and say, hey, I'll do that, I'll be involved in that? Like I say, you don't have to spearhead it. All you got to do is say that, hey, this is the vision, and let's all come together and make it work. And by you raising your hand, maybe you're willing to work with another brother that's on this list. Or like I say, grab some other brothers. And
Can I say something right quick?
Go ahead, Brother Day.
I'm totally in with you. All of y'all guys encourage me. And I'll forget to the young brother, 19-year-old that spoke.
Ron. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing some research currently in African American psychological well-being in the community. I would like to be part of his group, whatever. I'm totally committed. I'm laying here now in Golden Living Rehab Center. I'll be discharged tomorrow.
Yes, sir. So happy about that
Oh,
too.
so I am committed.
Amen.
Good. I see Chris Akers up there jumping, man. You committed, my brother.
Hey man, I tell you what, I'm in. So I'm 50. So I gotta find a couple cats younger than me and then one. I mean, if there's any cats left that's older than me, I'm in.
All right, man. Definitely, man. There's somebody in your category for sure. I mean, younger and everything like that. So we gonna rock it, man. We gonna rock it. So just your commitment.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, bro. No, seriously, I'm looking forward to it.
We appreciate your support, man. So guys, just we go out on the PowerPoint. So let's see. Hold on.
Man, real quick. I mean, hey, Eric, I don't know how old you are, man, but you're kind of funny. So I wouldn't mind you being in my group because I think it'd be fun.
Yes,
brother
sir.
Eric Saunders.
Eric Saunders
Brother Eric,
is a riot, man. He is a riot.
He's hilarious, dog. So
He
I
is
like
a
that
riot.
one in my group.
So
Yeah.
so yes. So we thank you all, man. To see you next Thursday, man. Invite others, please, to be a part. You know, we're gonna be talking about that Black Power dollar, that Black dollar. Matter of fact, Brother Sharon Cole, his wife, Renisha Cole, is going to be on. She's going to be one of our panelists and everything. So we are so excited about that. And then, we are BMG. So we're going to end this, say, I am BMG.
I am BMG.
Yes,
I am
me and my
BMG.
wife
Chris.
and she's BMG out there. And she's BMG. So, Eric, say something, man. Say something real quick, man.
What's up, brothers, man? Good to see everybody tonight, man. Like, I wish I had a nice little quote. The only thing I can say to you guys is continue to be strong, black men, continue to be humble, continue to uplift the community. And we could continue to remind the people in the most respectful and uplifting ways to use my language, Brother Carter. To leave me the fuck alone.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Bless you, man. God bless you. All right. Here how we go home, man. This is how we go home.
My name is Greg Ellis, and I am BMG.
My name is Malachi Carter, and I am BMG.
My name is Tyrone Chandler, and I am BMG.
My name is Hugh Hunter, and I am BMG.
My name is Eric Saunders, and I am BMG.
Willis Wright, I am BMG.
My name is Duran Schrader, and I am BMG.
My name is Dwight Holland, and I am BMG.
Dante Brown, I am BMG.
My name is Daryl Morton, and I am BMG.
My name is Eric Davenport, I am BMG.
My name is James Person, and I am BMG.
And Michael Fan, I am BMG.
My name is Justin Tillis, and I am BMG.
I'm James Gibson, and I am Black Man's Group.
Who is BMG? BMG is young men, seasoned men, sons, dads, mentors. BMG is all about our community, our youth, our elders, our returning and recovering citizens, and undoing systemic racism. BMG is you, brother. Join the Black Man's Group.
All right. Hey, my son Malachi's on, man. I can't deny him. I had him. I made him. Say something, Malachi, in our closing.
Hey, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm in my car right now.
I hear you.
Y'all don't know, I'm a youth minister. Also, I'm the director of elementary in my church. I'm also a high school teacher. So this topic is so important. not only just the idea of it, but the practice of it. I remember even today I was playing Uno with some of my students and like just seeing the generational difference between me as a Gen Y millennial and them as Zers. Seeing how we not only can coexist but also like cooperate and exchange laughters and have cultural exchanges at the same time. So this is a very powerful thing that we can do in our community to strengthen the community itself. So I'm looking forward to the projects that we'll take on with this, and this is exciting. Like it's good to see this stuff. So my commitment is just continuing to position myself as like that liaison between generations, and showing each generation and myself like how to communicate with one another effectively. Let's get it.
BMG. All right. Good night, everybody. See you on Thursday.